see. Do you guys remember how to find the area of a trapezoid? Are you using formulas, or are you like decomposing the picture?
I was going to decompose it, but I wasn't sure how.
Okay, so let's decompose it, right? I mean, because you could do it either way, all right? So if we're decomposing this, right, we want to see the rectangle, right? And then we want to find the area of, right, the triangles, because we know that surface area is equal to the base area plus the lateral area, right? So we got to start with that base area first, right? So we'll find that. Now, the rectangle, that's the easy part. That's going to be 7 by 5. You guys comfortable with that?
Yes.
Okay, so that's 35, right? Just for the rectangular part of that, because this segment here is 7 and this segment here is 5. So 7 times 5 is going to be 35. Then we got to find the area of the triangular parts, all right? Well, if this whole distance here is 14 and this distance here is 7, that means then that the bases of these triangles have to be the difference, or the sum of those bases has to be the difference between the 14 and 7. So we know that the sum of those two green segments are 7, which would mean, right, that's 3.5, and that's 3.5, because 3.5 and 3.5 is 7. All right, you okay with that? Well, then we just find the area, right? So area is going to be 1/2 base times height. The height is 5. So what's 5 times 3.5? 5 times 3 is 15, and half of 5 is 2.5. So that should be 17.5. Now the 17.5, I'm going to write that. 17.5 would be the total of the right, the total of both of them, correct. Now, if you want to split that up into two parts, I mean, you could, but that would be the total. So 35 and 17.5 is what? 35, 45, 52.5 for the base area. Surface area is going to be, 52.5, but we have two of them, right? So we have 2 times 52.5, right? And you guys are okay with the 2, right? Because we have one trapezoid there, and then we have the other, right, trapezoid in the back here.
Yep.
Right? So it's 2 times the 52.5. And then we just need the lateral area. Now the lateral area, I'm going to erase all this. Erase all that mess. The lateral area, we have to pay attention to each of those 3 rectangles. So we'll take one rectangle at a time. Right, this first rectangle is 14 by 6.1, so that's going to be 14 by 6.1 plus, I'll do a blue one here. Right, this rectangle looks like it's going to be 16 by oops, I made a mistake. Who sees a mistake?
Not me.
Oh, of course not. Yeah, I made a mistake. Yeah, this first rectangle isn't 14 by 6.1. It's actually going to be 14 by this segment here, which is 16, right? So this rectangle here is actually 14 by 16. So let me change that. All right, that's 14 by 16. 14 by 16. And then let's get some of these other rectangles. Then let's get this blue rectangle here. That's going to be 16 by 6.1. 16 by 6.1. But there's actually 2 of them, right? Because over here, this is also 6.1 by 16. So I'm going to put a 2 up there. Okay? And then I'm going to add to that, I'll do it in green, this bottom rectangle here, which looks like that's going to be 7 by 16. 7 by 16. Okay? So we want to use our calculator. Let me get my calculator and do all that. Right? If we multiply all that out, we should get a base area of, or a total surface area of 636, 636.2, and those are square feet. All right. All right, should be 636.2 square feet if we do all the calculations, which is C. All right. Now, girls, that's if we're, that's if we decompose it, right? You can use the formula for the area of a trapezoid, and when you look at the, the guided notes, that's the way I did it in the guided notes. So at 8 o'clock tonight, I'll post the guided notes. So, you can see kind of the difference between if you decompose it and get the 2 times 52.5, or if you, use the guided notes. All right, or if you use the formula. All right, what else you got?
20.
What number?
21.
Oh, 21. All right. Scroll ahead.
Because I got like an answer, but it was not there.
So, okay. It probably means not right. All right. But, there are mistakes sometimes. But I do all of these problems myself. Right, and I try to get the answer that the answer book has, and so most of the time they're correct. But you guys all know after 2 years of having me, I'm certainly capable of making mistakes. All right, so we're looking for volume here. Volume is going to be the base area times the height. Now, because that base area is a triangle, that's going to be 1/2 base times height. But then we have to multiply that by the height of the prism. All right, so sometimes I'll just make a capital H for that height. So we have the base area times the height. So the volume is going to be 1/2. Now the base area, we have 12 times 8. So that's 12 times 8. And then the height of the prism, that's going to be a 12. All right, and then we multiply all that together. That should be 576. Should be 576 cubic inches. All right, check that with your calculators. Make sure you're getting the same thing, but it should be 576 cubic inches. So, what mistakes were you making? What did you do wrong?
I put 1/3 in the beginning.
Okay, 1/3. All right, makes sense. Right, 1/3 is the volume of a pyramid, and sometimes kids do, confuse the prisms and the pyramids. All right, what else we got?
22.
22. Okay, 22 is actually, what are we looking for? Surface area here. Okay, so we have surface area is equal to the base area plus the lateral area. But we're given the net here, which makes it a little bit different because we're actually given the base area here. We're actually told that the area of the base is 43.3. So we just need the lateral area. And the lateral area is 3 triangles, right, that are 1/2 times the base and the height. And the base and the height are going to be 10 and 12. All right, you guys see that? And then it's just a matter of, okay, calculator surface area is going to be equal to, punch these in, that's going to be, what's that, 180? So that's 43.3 plus 180. So the surface area is going to be, what's that, 223? Yeah, that's 223.3. And we got square centimeters, right? So that's going to be D. That'll be D. All right. What issues did you guys have there? What mistake did you make? I'm just kind of curious so that I can understand where the kids are making mistakes.
I don't know where to fill in the formula.
Oh. All right. Okay. What else we got?
I need 26.
All right. Let's look at 26. Yeah, this one is, all right, so we have to find the volume of the composite solid, all right, and you're going to see this on your test, right? And we always like to split these into pieces, so I'll call this figure 1, call this figure 2, right? Volume 1, because it's a pyramid, right, that's where we get the 1/3 base area times the height, because it is a pyramid, right? So that's going to be 1/3. Now the base area is a triangle, right? So that's going to be 1/3 times the base area. And because it's a triangle, that's 1/2. Base and height look like that's going to be 7 times 7.1. But then we have to multiply that by that h there, right, which is 12. So this is your base area, right, and then this is, right, that height for volume 1. So if you multiply everything together, volume 1 winds up with, let me keep that blue actually, so let's erase that, keep that blue, try to be consistent, Pilata. Right, that's volume 1. Volume 1 is going to be equal to, what's that, 49.7. And then we need volume 2. Volume 2 is the triangular prism, make that red. And that's going to be base area times height, right? Not 1/3 because it's a prism. So volume 2 is going to be the base area, which is 1/2 base times height, and then we have to multiply that by, call it big H, right, the height of the prism. Volume 2 is 1/2. That's going to be the 7 times the 7.1. Oh, I see a mistake. I see a mistake. Nobody said it. Nobody said it. What's the mistake? Now, the 49.7 is right, but this 12 is not correct. What's the height of the pyramid? 6, right. So that should have been a 6. That was my bad, right? But the height of the pyramid is 6. Doesn't change the answer because I'm looking at my notes for the answer, and the answer, it is 49.7. But in order to get 49.7, right, that had to be a 6. So that was my mistake. And the reason why I caught that is because now the height of the prism is, that's where we're going to be using the 12. All right. So we have 1/2. Base times height going to be the 7 times 7.1. So that's right, 7 times 7.1, and then the height is the 12, right? So that's 7 times 7.1. Yep, that's right. And then volume 2 is going to be, when we multiply 1/2 times 7 times 7.1 times 12, that's going to be 298.2. And then we need the total volume. Total volume. And the total volume is going to be the V1 plus the V2. So that's going to be 49.7 plus 298.2. And that's where we get volume is going to be 347.9. Oops. 347.9. And these are cubic inches. All right. What do we got next?
36.
36. All right. Let's scroll ahead to 36. Let's see what we got. Boop. Now, girls, I don't know if you recognize this or not, but this is a problem off of your 6th grade test. You know, you probably don't remember, probably don't recognize it, but I took this problem right off of your 6th grade, one of your 6th grade tests. Now, and I was curious to see if you guys would remember what to do or how to do it. And obviously, the other kids that didn't have me last year, you know, I don't know if they would have done this or not last year. But this, it's a neat problem. The area of the front face is 81 square centimeters. All right. So if we're looking at this front face here, right, we know that that area is 81. Now, in order for that to be 81, that means that would have to be 9, and that would have to be 9. Correct? Which means each one of these little squares is equivalent to what? 3. Correct. So why is that important? Well, we have 4 of those units along the side here. So what must be the length in centimeters of that side? I can't hear you.
12.
Right, that's got to be 12. So that's the tricky part with this problem, right? We have to, recognize that if that front face has an area of 81, each of these little squares are equivalent to 3 units, and that means then that this would have to be 12. And then it's easy, right? Because volume is going to be length times width times height. So your volume is going to be 9 times 9 times 12 times 9 times the 12. So your volume is 972 cubic centimeters, and that's where you get answer D. But the key is, that first step. All right? 6th grade problem, girls, but I had to bring it back because I liked it. What else?
37.
37. All right. Let's see what we got here. 37. Click, click, click. Okay. We're looking for surface area. And surface area, as we know, is equal to the base area, right, plus the lateral area. The base area is a square here, right? So that's going to be S squared, and then your lateral area is 4 triangles that are 1/2 base times height. So that's the way we'd have to figure that. The fact that the base is a square means that you're going to have 4 triangles for your lateral area. And when we have the triangular pyramids, our lateral area is going to be 3 triangular faces. So your surface area is going to be equal to 3 squared, right? Because that's the length of our base here. It's 3 plus 4 times 1/2. Base and height look like that's going to be 3 and 6. All right. So the surface area is going to be equal to 3 squared, which is 9. Oops, it's not equals. Erase that. 3 squared, which is 9, plus 4 times 1/2 is 2. 2 times 3 is 6. I'm 6. That should be 36. So the surface area there should be, what was that, 45, right? 45, and these are square feet because we're talking about surface area for number 37. Alrighty. Anything else, girls? Gabby, you're good? What do you got, Ave? Anything else? 40? A lot of kids getting 40 wrong, guys. A lot of kids getting 40 wrong. Okay? Now we're looking for the surface area of this solid, right? Now, and I almost got caught doing this wrong. I had to be really careful with this problem. It's really easy to make a mistake. All right? It's very easy to to make the mistake here. Okay, now let's start with the okay, let's call it figure 1, call this figure 2. Now let's start with let's start with figure 1. All right, we'll do with that. So surface area 1 is going to be equal to the base area plus the lateral area. All right, let me actually write it out, right? Surface area, anytime we do surface area, it's base area plus the lateral area. But what do we know about the base area there? What do we know about the base area here?
It's a square.
It is a square, but it's also not included in the surface area. Right? It's not part of the surface. It's actually on the inside of the figure. So for surface area 1, we're just talking about the lateral area. All right? So for surface area 1, we just have 4 triangles that are 1/2 base times height. So surface area 1 is going to be 4 times 1/2. And what are the base and the height? It's going to be 3 and 5. Okay? So surface area 1 is going to be 4 times 1/2 is 2. 3 times, so that should be 30. And these are square centimeters. You guys okay with that?
Yeah.
Now, let's look at surface area 2. I'll do that over here somewhere. Surface area 2. Now, normally, right, surface area of a rectangular prism is 2 times length times width plus 2 times length times height plus 2 times width times height. But, once again, this green square here is actually one of, right, I'm going to trace its mirror image here, right, that green square on the inside means we take away one of those length times widths, right? We actually have to take one of them away. So instead of 2 of these green rectangles, we only have one of them in our surface area. All right. So surface area 2, do this in blue. Surface area 2, instead of being 2 squares that are 3 times 3, there's only one square that's 3 times 3. You guys see that? Okay, and that's really the tricky part, right? And then the other 2 are going to be, we have 2 times, what do we have? Length times height. That's going to be 2 times 3 times 12. Right, and then we have 2 times width times height, and the width times height is also going to be, right, 3 times 12. So surface area 2 is 9 plus 36, what's that? 72 plus another 72. So surface area 2 is going to be 153 square centimeters. Right, but the key is, right, that green square area where you have to take away the base area of the triangular pyramid, and you have to take away one of the sides of your rectangular pyramid when we're talking about the surface area. So your total surface area, right, your total is the 153 plus the 30, and that's where we get the correct answer of 183, right, 183 square centimeters. Right, so it's not an easy problem. It's not super difficult, but you know, we do have to pay attention to the details and pay attention to where each of those faces are going to be, and that's the, you know, that's a problem where a lot of kids are making making a mistake, you know, not paying attention to the details of, you know, what faces are going to count towards surface area and what faces aren't. Okay.
Can we do 38?
I can't hear you.
Can we do 38?
38, absolutely. All right, so let's scroll back to, yeah, okay, 38 is, we're looking for the surface area of a triangular pyramid this time. All right, I always still want to write my formula. Base area plus the lateral area. But the base area now, instead of being a square, it's a triangle. So it's 1/2 base times height. And because the base is a triangle, we have 3 triangles for the lateral area, not 4 triangles. So it's 3 times 1/2 base times height. All right, so then the surface area is going to be equal to the 1/2. Now we're doing the base area, so that's going to be 7 by 6.1. And then we have 3 triangles that are 1/2. That's going to be 7 by 12. All right, and then we want to multiply, so we have the 7 times 6.1 times 1/2, that should be 21.35, plus we have 3 times 1/2 times 7 times 12, right, that's 126. So we add those two together for our surface area, we get 147.35, and our surface area units going to be square centimeters. All right. Anything else you got, girls? No, not really. Okay, quick questions, girls. Was the 3 days enough for the review? Was it too long or was it okay?
It was okay.
It was okay. Now, because for the test, obviously I can't give you 1 day to do the test if you took 3 days to do the review, but I was thinking of probably trying to cut the review down a bit and then, for your test and giving you 2 days for the test, or do you think you'd rather have 3 days for the test?
2.
You think 2 would be okay? If I cut a few questions off? But the easy questions come off, girls.
Yeah.
Okay, so so your test will be Monday and Tuesday of next week. Use the worked out solutions that you'll have, so you'll have all the answers in front of you. I may throw a surprise or two on there. I got to see. I'll spend some time on the weekend making up the test. But I expect you guys to all get A's this marking period. I mean, really, come on. How do you screw this up? All right. Okay, so if you don't have any other questions, you girls enjoy your weekend, and if you need anything, just shoot me a message, and good luck on your test next week. All right.
Thank you.
All right. Take care, girls.